I'm the Joe Hebert, the CEO of Outcrop Gold. Quinn mentioned we're active in Colombia. I've been actively for at least 9 years, so we've worked out the bugs. And in regards to the COVID, we have an exemption in Colombia as an essential business. We actually have a drill rig turning today, and we'll have that rig turning through probably the end of the first quarter of 2021. Outcrop Gold is working on an exciting high-grade silver gold discovery in Colombia. We've got 17 out of 20 holes drilled to date on the project have high-grade mineralization. Not just mineralization, but high grades up to an equivalent of 6.5 kilograms silver per ton. Projects in Colombia. I'm talking about Santa Ana because Outcrop Gold is currently building value there through a focused drill program that will continue through the first quarter of 2021. We think historic drilling in 2014 by a previous company and our drilling in early 2020 constitute an important discovery. So Santa Ana has been mined by primitive methods since at least the mid-1500s. During the Spanish colonial era, there are reports in the Royal Spanish Archives of 14 mines operating that averaged 4 kilograms silver over 1.4 meters. We're actually seeing some of that type of mineralization in our drilling, at least locally. Outcrop has completed phase one of a 1,300-meter program to well-define and model 2 ore chutes and to target additional ore chutes in 12 to 14 kilometers of vein based on our understanding of the two ore chutes we have. We have started a phase 2 program in which we will drill another 13,000 meters to test up to that 14 kilometers of vein zones on the project. And our 24 to 30-month objective is to identify 20 chutes, ore chutes that could accumulate 1.2 million equivalent gold ounces at 12 to 16 equivalent grams gold per ton, or in silver plus 1,200 equivalent silver per ton. So the holy grail for an extensive narrow vein system in Colombia is Buritica, which gave Continental Gold a $1 billion market cap. Santa Ana will not have as compact a footprint, which of course is an important part of the Buritica value. But so far, Santa Ana has higher grades and a higher total vein count spread over about 2 to 3 times the area of Buritica. Santa Ana is in the department of Tolima near Antioquia. Both are historic mining areas with very, very strong mining cultures. The project is 100% owned by Outcrop Gold. It is near a highway and an electrical grid with very strong community support. In fact, Outcrop Gold is noted in the nearby city of Falan's 3 to 5 year development plan as a source for royalties, taxes, and jobs. So we've done an excellent job of CSR and continually to treat that very importantly and carefully. Epithermal veins at Santa Ana overprint the orogenic veins. Our drilling is in the epithermal zone. We can see the epithermal to orogenic transition in topography over about roughly 1,000 meters. Our drilling is in the epithermal zone, but of course, orogenic mineralization can extend for kilometers. On the map on the left, you can see the 14 kilometers of vein zone projection in red. There's 2 successful drill areas that are shown in the yellow blocks. Both of those defined high-grade ore chutes on the order of 200 meters in strike and 300 meters in depth. And those ore chutes are about 1.2 kilometers apart in separate but related veins. And that distance is about 1.2 kilometers. And there are probably 16 to 18 historic portals where you can actually access and sample the vein between those 2 drill discoveries. The veins you can see on the right, for the most part, the mineralization and the vein outcrop the primitive workings, they're pretty much ubiquitous on the project. Outcrop is advancing the core area between the two drill discoveries with over 5,000 soil and trench samples. The veins on the left then will be selectively tested by 13,000 meters of drilling. The ore chutes are outcrop, and so they will be detectable by soils and trenches and drilling to help us focus in. From the two areas of concentrated drilling, we've learned that roughly that every 600 meters of vein is likely to host at least one 200 meter by 300 meter by 1 meter wide vein. The veins are typically in a set of two or three closely spaced, and the ore chutes will be between 14 and 16 equivalent grams of gold per ton, or in silver over 1.2 equivalent kilograms silver per ton over 1 meter. Drilling, this was the first successful drilling in 2014 by Condor Precious Metals. It shows in section that each vein zone is comprised of multiple veins. There are local ladder veins and stockwork between veins that carry values. So similar to Barotica, segments of the close-spaced veins may be mineable in the future in bulk. And importantly, blasting. In the case of blasting for stopes, the overbreak will not entirely be dilutive due to low grade in the wall rock and between the veins. The 2014 drill program by Condor Precious Metal, the average is 1.8 meters at a weighted average grade of 830 equivalent grams of silver per ton. The highest intercept is 1.34 meters at 2,500 equivalent grams of silver per ton. This table for our 2020 drilling shows 0.6 meters with a weighted average of 18.9 grams gold per ton and 2,122 grams silver per ton. The best silver equivalent in this round of drilling was 1 meter at 6.5 kilograms silver per ton. I should note that the average grade of 12 primary silver mines around the world has fallen to about 300 grams silver per ton. So in that context, we have some really impressive, extremely impressive grades. The vein on the right, that is the center of it is recessive in topography due to local massive sulfide cores. Where you see that 40-50% massive sulfide is where you get the kilogram type silver associated with galena and sphalerite. The oxidation of the vein here is also an example of silver depletion at surface. Gold stays in those brown to orange colored gaussons, but we think the significant amount of silver is mobilized chemically. This slide summarizes our drilling on what we call the La Ivana discovery. The best outcrop gold intercept in 2020 was 1 meter at 21.3 grams and 4.68 kilograms silver per ton. And we are using the drilled ore chutes like La Ivana and that one drilled in 2014 by Condor to model the expected ore chutes and project potential within the 12 to 14 kilometers of cumulative strike of veins we recognize. This drilling is actually negatively biased with respect to width because several of our holes hit open workings adjacent to the drilled vein. These open near-surface stopes average 1.4 meters in width, or basically the same as what's been recorded in the Spanish archives for the colonial area. We have a case where one hole, the combined drill width and adjacent stope width was over 3 meters. And that vein and stope together would probably represent 3 meters of over 2 equivalent kilograms silver per ton with high-grade gold. When we get below the shallow workings, we expect better overall average widths and grade because we won't have the stope. So we'll see better average grade and widths in our drill intercepts. On the left, we've divided the 14 vein zones into 9 different target areas. Based on the 2 ore shoots we have defined already, we expect drilling on these fences to identify 16 to 20 additional ore shoots like the 2 that we have drilled to date. The table on the right supports that sampling. Of 9 targets, you can see samples up to 94.3 grams gold per ton with 838 grams silver per ton. Again, we think the silver is depleted, and most of these actually represent channel samples of the vein. Our experience shows that silver is depleted. I'm repeating myself, I guess, there in the oxide zone, and will be higher at depth where we see the local 1 to 4 kilogram silver per ton assays with the high-grade gold. I'll just briefly touch upon our capital and share structure. 68.7 million shares out, 111.9 fully diluted, roughly 650 in cash, and the market capitalization bounces around, but that recently has been up to 13.8